And Logan is a prick who is just trying to throw his money around and try and repair his rep.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand over here.
Why?
Stand over here. Just hands.
Chris Eubank Jr. speaks with empathy that only comes from experience. Fighters recognize the moment when danger escapes the ring and enters real life. His reaction exposes a clear divide between those who've lived this reality and those performing online. That divide is swallowing reputations right now. And it won't settle quietly. Resentment like this always resurfaces when people least expect it. Tony Bellew highlights Joshua's character even while hurt and disoriented, and that's where respect becomes permanent. Joshua represents stability in chaos. When placed next to the Paul brothers' constant turbulence, the contrast is unavoidable. You can feel the narrative solidifying into something permanent. And once that happens, it follows people for years.
Two officials in Nigeria, they ran into a stationary truck while trying to change lanes on the roads. Just a horrific accident. You know, I don't want to start, assigning blame to something that I don't have the report for, but
this is where the story pauses in discomfort. Anthony Joshua recovering, grieving. The boxing world watching in silence. Logan Paul and Jake Paul surrounded by suspicion, whether deserved or not. The truth sits somewhere unseen, buried in documents and conversations we haven't heard yet. And stories that begin like this rarely end cleanly. They end suddenly. The next update could change everything.
Alexander Usyk said, "This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna and Latif are two incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery."
The direction this is heading feels dark. If the spiral continues, the damage won't stop at careers. It could rewrite legacies. Hours before everything collapsed, Joshua was relaxed, laughing, planning future fights. At the same time, rumors surfaced of alleged scrutiny surrounding the Paul brothers. One moment detonated the entire boxing narrative. Now powerful names are watching closely, unsure of what comes next.
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did,
there's no way.
He would be dead.
There's
Probably,
no
or fucking severely.
This is where the pressure intensifies. Reports suggest Joshua's accident raised questions no one wanted answered. Fans expected restraint from the Paul brothers. Instead, they saw posts that felt poorly timed and emotionally distant. In combat sports, timing defines intent. And when timing is wrong, perception turns hostile. There's a growing sense that someone knows more than they're saying. This is how stories become toxic.
Be there for them and the family, anything they need. Sometimes when someone is a star, they have a lot of things in their life taken care of for them. So you really have to move into that mode in this situation as well. Make sure obviously they're getting the best medical attention, make sure their family are safe and happy.
Joshua's recovery feels personal to the entire fight world. This isn't promotion or rivalry. This is genuine loss. When Jake Paul responded publicly, it didn't feel supportive. It felt guarded. Fighters noticed these things immediately. The energy didn't sit right. Like something unresolved hanging in the air.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. Two people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the two people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say to their friends and families. We'll definitely offer up some prayers for them.
Then Logan Paul posts, and the temperature drops again. The tone feels too casual for the weight of the moment. Accusations flood in. Speculation spreads fast. When figures already surrounded by controversy respond like this, people start connecting dots, fair or not. And once those lines are drawn, they don't disappear. Usyk's response cuts through it all with respect and humanity. Two worlds collide. One understands sacrifice. The other appears focused on optics. The difference is impossible to ignore.
Sure, if there was someone in the stationary truck. I'm not sure about that, so I'm not going to report on that, but the truck was stationary. And Anthony Joshua's SUV struck the stationary truck.
Joe Rogan's reaction stands out because he doesn't dramatize anything. He goes quiet. That silence carries weight. It reflects how close this came to irreversible consequences. He's thinking about scans, damage, and how fragile even elite heavyweights really are. Eddie Hearn responds like a leader. He shields his fighter and centers the families affected. Placed next to the Paul brothers' online presence, the contrast feels uncomfortable. It highlights responsibility versus reaction. This line is about to be tested publicly, and someone won't pass it. When losses of close friends are mentioned, the conversation shifts. This is grief layered on trauma. Treating it as content feels wrong.
The days where he could get seriously hurt. I don't believe Josh would have. I believe Josh might have some compassion in him.
Then discussions of possible brain injury emerge. The mood changes instantly. Careers end with scans like these. Lives change. In that context, earlier reactions appear even more disconnected. It feels like someone behind the scenes is scrambling, cleaning up, making calls.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. 2 people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the 2 people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say to their friends and families. We'll definitely offer up some prayers for them.
Details of the accident surface with stark clarity. A routine moment turned catastrophic. That reality makes speculation dangerous. Tragedy doesn't need villains. But suspicion lingers once introduced. With the Paul brothers already polarizing figures, attention intensifies by the hour.
There was an accident at 9:30 a.m. local time, 8:30 our time, involving 2 vehicles in which 2 people have died, and Anthony Joshua has received minor injuries and he's been taken to hospital. So eyewitnesses say Joshua was in a Lexus SUV with 3 other passengers, and he was involved in an accident in which that Lexus collided with a truck that was stationary at the time. And there are videos online of a shaken Joshua being taken out of the car. So local police have confirmed that Joshua has suffered minor injuries, but that 2 people have died in that accident.
What hurts most is seeing Joshua hours before the incident. Alive, optimistic. Then everything collapses. That emotional contrast fuels public anger toward anything that feels performative. This wasn't entertainment. It was real. When reactions appear detached, fans feel something sacred was violated.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Joshua, future heavyweight Hall of Famer, has been in a severe car accident which killed 2 people. He is severely injured. He's still alive. There's footage out there of people helping Anthony Joshua out the vehicle. We don't know the details of what happened, if they was in a car accident, if they was just swerving around and lost control. We don't know, but my condolences go out to those who lost their lives. Hopefully it was just, man, a terrible accident. And also, hopefully Anthony Joshua will seek the medical attention that he needs. You know, check the everything, the head, the scan everything, X-ray, MRI, because we don't know if that could be internal bleeding as well. You know, adrenaline is pumping, and you may feel like you're not okay, but you got to check everything. But hopefully he heals well, and Godspeed. And again, my condolences go out to those that lost their lives.
Narratives harden fast. One misjudged post can outweigh years of explanation. The Paul brothers understand attention better than most, yet this moment slipped. Now fans are drawing conclusions driven by grief, not evidence. And once brain trauma enters the conversation, silence becomes expected. If Joshua's career changes even slightly, resentment will deepen. Fight fans protect champions who carry themselves with dignity. This isn't a legal take. It's human. Joshua is surrounded by support and quiet strength. Logan and Jake Paul are surrounded by noise and unanswered questions. Until clarity arrives, the tension will keep tightening. When promoters pause before speaking, you hear the seriousness. When Rogan goes silent, you feel it. And every time these names trend together, it feels unnatural. Perception is already shaping outcomes. Past actions are resurfacing. That's how trauma works. And while fighters rally around Joshua with empathy, the Paul brothers stand isolated by their own history. And isolation, in moments like this, is dangerous.